Hello, darlings. Welcome to Z Star Africa, your home of drama updates. This is the August finale on Advocate Anjali. Previously on Advocate Anjali, Anjali is trapped in a marriage with Aman, but Raghav, in his quest to expose the real truth, forced them to re-wed. But before Aman could apply Sindoor on Anjali, she got the news that Yuvraj had married Padma and abandoned Aman at the altar. Missed any episodes this month? The first half recap is already available on my channel. Make sure to check it out before we dive in. Moving forward, after Anjali abandoned Aman at the altar, she went straight after Padma. She arrived at the wedding venue with Inspector Pankaj by her side. Yuvraj's mother greeted her with a forced smile, offering juice. Anjali refused without hesitation. She moved forward, but Yuvraj stepped in, blocking her path. Furious, she lashed out at him, but her phone kept buzzing. It was Aman, calling again and again, filled with urgency and desperation to tell her what had just happened. But she ignored every call. Her eyes then fell on Padma, seated on the mandip, pale, vacant, and clearly intoxicated. Anjali rushed to her side, voice steady but urgent. "Don't be afraid. Nothing will happen to you. I am here now." Stepping aside, she called Raghav, her tone sharp and cutting. "You couldn't even win in court. And now this. Tomorrow, I will hold a press conference with Padma about everything that happened here today, and if necessary, I will drag you there myself." Inspector Pankaj stepped forward to arrest Yuvraj. But before he could act, Padma intervened, pleading, "Stop, please. He is now my husband." Anjali froze, dumbfounded. Shock rippled through her as she tried to process what she had just heard. Padma proceeded, saying, "He has applied Sindoor to my forehead. I have signed. There is nothing you can do now, Anjali. Please let him go." Feeling overwhelmed and defeated, Anjali left the venue and returned home. Back home, chaos awaited. Outside, neighbors had gathered as her father's anger boiled over. He raised his hand to slap her, but her mother held him back, urging Anjali to explain what had really happened. Breathless, Anjali recounted everything. How Padma had been forced into marriage, how Yuvraj had deceived her. Her father listened, still seething, but before he could speak, Aman arrived, telling Anjali, "Even if no one understands you, I will always understand you. What is the need for this Mangal Sutra? What is the need for this Sindoor? I am with you. I will always stand by you. You will have to win this case." Enraged, Anjali slapped Aman and brought out her phone, showing him a photo of him marrying Kavya. Her voice shook with fury. "You betrayed me." Aman tried to explain, but Ganesh slapped him twice out of rage on seeing the photo. He accused him of never really wanting to marry his daughter, asking if he only wanted to play games with his daughter's honor. The neighbors, outraged, started beating Aman, but Kavya showed up, begging them to stop hitting her husband. Aman, out of anger, told her that she was lying and that he never applied Sindoor on her. Kavya shouted that she is his legal wife now, and that the entire family could attest to that. Seeing all this, Anjali asked Aman if there was any lie left for him to tell. She and her family, along with the entire neighborhood, left, leaving Aman and Kavya standing behind. Aman, totally enraged, told Kavya that he would always and only love Anjali. But Kavya told him that she would be coming to her in-laws for her wedding rituals, leaving Aman completely enraged. Anjali sits before her mirror. Slowly she removes each piece of jewelry. As she gazes at her reflection, memories flood her mind, moments with Aman, his voice echoing in her heart, telling her he loves her. Outside, Aman stands silently in the night, his eyes heavy with tears, staring at the house that now feels so far from his reach. Meanwhile, Raghav calls Kavya, asking if she has reached Anjali's neighborhood. "Yes, uncle," she replies. She confirms she has done exactly as he instructed, proving in front of everyone that Aman is her husband. Back in her room, Anjali's mother enters, her face still shaken by the events of the day. But Anjali speaks firmly, telling her she is strong, that she doesn't need a husband to define her, that she is already someone. Advocate Anjali Awasthi. She declares she will live life on her own terms. Then, with a voice steady yet burning with resolve, she vows to her mother and to herself. She will get justice. She will not rest until Raghav, Chandan Thakur, and Yuvraj Thakur pay for everything they have done. She promises her mother, a promise she will never break. Later, Anjali arrived at the Rajput mansion. Her presence met with icy hostility. They demanded to know why she was there, but she stood tall, her voice sharp with defiance, declaring she had only come to return their jewelry. The air thickened with tension as Kavya appeared, questioning her presence. Anjali handed her the jewelry, but she wasn't done. Fixing her gaze on the entire family, Anjali's voice turned fierce. "I will not spare any of you. Engrave these words into your walls. I already have a piece of evidence." Jeannie, who had been standing terrified in the shadows, stepped forward, her voice trembling as she asked, "What evidence?" Anjali looked her straight in the eyes. "The lehenga and koli Padma wore at the wedding. I know you were the one who bought it." Jeannie's face drained of color. Anjali pressed on, vowing to drag both the Rajput and Thakur families to court and destroy them completely. As she turned to leave, Aman blocked her path, asking her to come with him. "You disgust me," she said coldly, reminding him that in front of everyone, he had applied sindoor to Kavya's head. He alone knew that their marriage was a sham, yet he honored Kavya instead. Fury blazed in her eyes as she stormed toward the door. But before she could leave, Aman called out after her, his voice raw. "I love you, Anjali, more than my life." His confession hung heavy in the air, but Anjali did not look back. Anjali arrived home only to see a projected image of Aman confessing his love, begging her not to leave. From behind, Aman appeared, placing his headgear at her feet, pleading that it was all a setup. But Anjali, still hurting, told him to return to his wife. She was no longer his. Aman pleaded, saying he loved her and knew she loved him too, but feeling betrayed, she told him, "I hate you," and walked away. Shattered, Aman called his father, his voice breaking as he begged for Anjali back, saying he loved only her. But his father coldly reminded him, he had Kavya now. The Thakurs, using the whole manipulated events to their advantage, fed the press a poisonous lie, that Anjali was using Padma for her own selfish gain. They claimed Padma was happy, now married to Yuvraj, while Anjali was still trying to manipulate her. But behind closed doors, Padma lived in fear. Yuvraj had warned her to keep quiet, to play the part of the obedient wife, and to follow his every command, or face his ruthless wrath. Anjali on her way home collided with Aman, who had been deliberately waiting for her. Startled and hurt, she brushed past him, her eyes flashing with pain. But before she could move further, Aman's sisters appeared, blocking her path. They showed her a CCTV clip, revealing the truth. The footage she had seen before was fake, AI manipulated, a carefully orchestrated scheme by their parents. Aman had never married Kavya. Everything she had believed was a lie. Shock and disbelief froze her for a moment. Then, in a surge of emotion, Anjali turned and ran straight into Aman's arms. In that instant, Aman's heart finally found its peace, the storm inside him finally settling. Meanwhile, back at home, Abhay busied himself preparing Kavya's post-wedding rituals. Jeannie, unsettled and suspicious, confronted him, demanding to know what he was doing. With a mocking calm, Abhay revealed that he was preparing the rituals for Kavya. But he also declared that Aman's marriage with Anjali had been a sham, and he would prove it. He insisted that his love belonged to Anjali, that she was meant to be his wife, not Jeannie, igniting Jeannie's anger even further. At Anjali's home, Aman carefully performed Anjali post-wedding rituals with the help of her mother. Anjali reminded him that the ceremony should traditionally take place at his house, but he gently reassured her that the location didn't matter, as long as their love was true and mutual. Aman surprises Anjali with a heartfelt proposal, and in the quiet of their space, they share a tender, unforgettable moment. Aman and Anjali's bond grows stronger. Mehek called Aman to inform him that Kavya's post-wedding ritual had begun. Hearing this, Aman rushed to the house and interrupted the ceremony, even knocking the ritual plate to the ground. The family was shocked, their voices rising in confusion and anger. Kavya confronted Aman, demanding an explanation. In response, Aman played the original footage, revealing the truth. Kavya's face flushed with shame as she realized that Aman had seen through their manipulative deception, which had been designed to force him into marrying her. Jeannie, desperate to please the family and secure their favor, told everyone that Aman had never truly been married to Anjali. Hearing this, Aman called Jeannie selfish, declaring that he loved only Anjali and was married only to her. Overhearing Jeannie's words, Abay stepped forward, elated. He thanked Jeannie for inadvertently revealing the truth she had hidden from him for so long. In that moment, Jeannie realized her mistake. Shock washed over her face as the gravity of her actions sank in. She had ruined her own standing, and her attempts to manipulate the situation had completely backfired. Aman was able to track down the receipt for the lehenga Jeannie had purchased for Padma and handed it over to Anjali. Grateful, she thanked him, calling it extremely helpful, before leaving for the police station. Meanwhile, Chandraban and his wife attempted to sway Padma with gifts. A necklace and promises of a honeymoon trip to Switzerland with Yuvraj. Their intentions were clear: to make Padma feel valued and soften her resolve, hoping she would persuade Anjali to drop the case. At the police station, Anjali, with the authorities' help, rounded up the catering staff and wedding ushers who had worked at the wedding. Under questioning, they confessed that Yuvraj had bribed them with 25,000 Indian rupees to spike Padma's drink, exposing the full extent of the manipulation. With every step, Anjali gets closer to unmasking Yuvraj and his father, Mr. Chandraban. At the Rajput mansion, Abay confronts Jeannie, his voice sharp with rage. He accuses her of destroying the family's honor and respect, by keeping hidden that Aman and Anjali's marriage was nothing but a sham. For that, he declares, she deserves to be punished and that he will divorce her. Jeannie grew furious, but before she could speak, Aman walks in, his tone fierce as he defends her. He tells Abay that his treatment of Jeannie has been cruel and unjust from the very beginning. Abay glares at him, his words cutting like a blade. By pretending to be Anjali, she tricked me into this marriage. Whether you like it or not, I will end up with Anjali. Aman's eyes flash with fury. He steps closer and told Abay, Anjali is mine, no one else's. Meanwhile, across town, Yuvraj stands face to face with Anjali, a sinister smile curling on his lips. The girl you tried so hard to protect is now my wife, he taunts. I have access to her whenever I want. Anjali's hand flies across his face in a sharp slap. Unfazed, Yuvraj leans in, his voice dripping with arrogance. I will win this case. I don't even need a lawyer. On the hearing day, you, Advocate Anjali, will be standing against your own sister, Padma. That's a wrap on the August finale on Advocate Anjali. Yeah, that's a wrap, fam. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe for more sizzling drama updates. I'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned, because September is coming with the fire.